evidence.
But processing a potential kidnapping case isn't something either the DA's investigators or campus police are accustomed to doing. And on June 26th, the case is officially handed over to the San Luis Obispo Sheriff's Office.
We got the call that the Sheriff's Department would be taking over, which was just such a huge relief to us because our feeling was that professionals who knew how to deal with this type of situation were going to be on board.
Once on board, sheriff's officers bring a new urgency to the case.
The more time that goes by, the more potential loss of evidence, the more loss of memory or remembrance of specific information. So as time transpires, you're potentially losing information.
Within hours, deputies are combing the Cal Poly campus with cadaver dogs, hoping to uncover some trace of Kristin. They soon make a shocking discovery, one that seems to indelibly link Paul Flores to Kristin's disappearance.
There was only one room on campus where the dogs alerted, and that was in Paul Flores' room.
Cadaver dogs hit on the scent of human remains in Paul Flores' dorm room.
Right. So it has to be someone in the room who has touched or been near that scent of death.
All the dorm rooms, all the bedrooms, all the beds, they went to the corner of his bed and like trash can.
The Smarts believe the odds that a cadaver dog would have incorrectly picked up the scent of Kristin's remains is slim, and suggest that either Kristin died in that particular location, or died at the hands of someone who had recently been in that dorm room.
Paul's roommate, on the weekend she disappeared, was gone, and therefore Paul would know that he would have unfettered access to use his room, and therefore Paul had an opportunity to get a girl that was under the influence back to his room.
It seems to be the break investigators have been looking for, but CSIs are unable to find any other clues in Paul Flores' dorm room. That's because, as the semester at Cal Polytech was coming to a close, campus police allowed the room to be cleaned and sanitized.
It's pathetic police work. It's terrible police work. They should have been in there with their forensic team, vacuuming the room for fibers, and instead they send in a maid service to clean the room up, and that destroyed evidence.
With no additional evidence, it is impossible for investigators to charge Paul Flores with any crime. So the Sheriff's Office obtains a search warrant for the Flores home in nearby Arroyo Grande, and they make another bizarre discovery.
They found multiple newspaper articles about Kristin under the mattresses.
One could argue that Paul kept those because he was directly or indirectly involved.
Still, it's not enough for police to charge Paul Flores with any crime.
What are the reasons investigators give you that Paul Flores has not been arrested?
We're told that the case can't move forward because A, there's no Kristin, and B, there's no weapon.
The Smart family believes they have all the proof they need. On November 26th, they file a civil suit against Paul Flores for the wrongful death of Kristin, hoping their case will bring the truth to light.
No one has any expectation that she is alive. She didn't disappear that night. She was killed that night.
But at his preliminary deposition, Flores refuses to confirm or deny the simplest of facts.
Did you attend a party at or near the Cal Poly campus in May of 1996?
On advice of my attorney, I refuse to answer that question.
Whenever he was asked questions about what happened, what led up to that evening, he asserted his Fifth Amendment.
I refuse to answer that question based on the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution.
With Flores now silent, the civil suit comes to a standstill.
We don't have any DNA evidence, and we don't have a weapon, and we don't have any marks, and we don't have any witnesses. That's a festering ground for reasonable doubt.
And that he's made the conscious decision not to share that information is like stabbing someone in the heart. It's indescribable. Just indescribable.
But investigators haven't given up. More than 6 months after Kristin's disappearance, they initiate a search of a nearby rental property that's owned by the Flores family. During the search, the woman renting the house hands investigators something she found in the driveway. Something that's been missing as long as Kristin Smart. A turquoise earring.
The earrings were her favorite earrings. They were never found in her personal effects, even though none of her personal effects were gone from her room. That's a very compelling piece of evidence. That's damaging evidence.
But no sooner are the earrings tagged as evidence than the investigation suffers another in what seems to be a growing list of catastrophic setbacks.
It was subsequently placed in a desk drawer, misplaced, and lost forever.
Without this crucial piece of physical evidence, authorities still have no case against Paul Flores.
Sometimes the smallest piece of evidence can be the clinching piece of evidence, and in this case it could have well been the earring.
The critical loss of time and evidence seem to have done irreparable damage to the case. 15 years later, the Smart family is no closer to understanding what happened the night their daughter vanished. But like Lauren Spearer in 2011 and Natalie Holloway in 2005, Kristin's disappearance serves as a harrowing reminder of just how quickly a young woman's night out with friends can become a parent's worst nightmare.
Denise, there's so many similarities between Kristin's case and Natalie's case. What do you think happened?
She was taken advantage of, and I hope she accidentally lost her life. And that we can find her. We can't hope for what happened, but we can hope for the opportunity to, bring her home and lie her to rest.
Kristin Smart was last seen in San Luis Obispo, California on May 25, 1996. She is 6 feet 1 inch tall with dark blonde hair and brown eyes. Today, she would be 34 years old. If you have information about Kristin Smart or Lauren Spearer, please go to MyLifetime.